What I've learned so far about what attention is. I'm still going through the process of learning it. However, I have gotten a fairly good idea as to what it entails. Essentially, an attention is stuck or part of the transformer block. Now, a transformer block is basically how the processing of input embeddings happen so that you can eventually calculate and create the output probabilities as to what the next token should be. So a transformer block has that along with a feed forward neural network, which we're not going to get into, but that's the second part to this whole process. Now, attention basically allows you to contextualize your vectors. And that is to say that essentially all of human language relies on context. You need to understand the underlying knowledge of what is being said, or else you won't understand what is being said at all. And so attention basically mimics this underlying knowledge by essentially updating input embeddings so that they're rich in context. And it does this by looking at previous tokens, right? So it's looking at previous tokens, previous chunks of text, and it's assigning attention scores, which are basically how relevant that specific text is to the input text, right? Or the input token. And then based off of these scores, you're able to update the feature. All right, and there's this whole mathematical process that goes into it. Again, I'm gonna learn more about it later on. It specifically has to do with query, key value, this these three components. Again, that's something I will learn tomorrow. But really, the big idea of attention is adding context to your input embedding so that's able to create a more accurate probability as to what the next token should be, and it does this by assigning relevant scores to the previous tokens in an autoregressive model, which just means that your model can only look at previous tokens, or in like models like BERT, you can also look at future tokens as well. That come after the specific token that this attention layer is being processed on, right? Now, essentially, what happens is that based off of these relevant scores, it's essentially going to go through this basically softmax function, where it takes all of these scores and it's able to then update the features. And intuitively, what this would look like is, for example, if you had I don't know, the sentence the cat ate its tails, for example, right? And you're looking at it right now. So the transformer blocks is on the token which belongs to its. It already has the vector embedding for it. And um, at first, it's just going to be the general, features, which is just, different aspects of that specific embedding. It's just going to be general, but we want to contextualize it to that specific sentence. Specifically, it's going to refer to cat, right? It's going to refer to the cat. Now, based off of the extensive amount of training that this transformer has been a part of, this attention layer will be able to assign relevant scores which are super high for cat, and then based off of that, it basically updates this token embedding for it to incorporate cat information. So that now this transformer understands that its is not just the general its that we know of, but rather it's talking about the cat information itself because the sentence is referring to its as cat. All right. Um, and again, there's this whole process which goes into it, which specifically involves QKV, and we're gonna go through that tomorrow, and I'll make a new video which explains that more technically in depth. But this is just a good high level intuitive understanding of what attention is, which is very important to understand as you go into applied AI. Another important thing to understand is that there's not only a singular process of attention, there are actually multiple processes of attention which occur for a singular token. And this is because there's multiple different aspects of context which you want to capture within your embedding. All right. And a singular process of, this attention occurring is called an attention head. That's why you'll notice in this um, picture, which I haven't mentioned yet. By the way, this picture is from the Attention is All You Need paper, which is where this, attention mechanism was introduced. But you'll notice that you have this multi-head attention, and multi-head attention essentially means that you can do this parallel processing with multiple different attention processes running, which are capturing different aspects of the context and the features being updated based off of those aspects of context.